Hi guys, so I recently was asked to do a water marbling design with gel polishes, so I'm going to do that today. I'm going to be using DivaDC gel polishes and prep. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the items that I'm going to be using. So first thing is I'm going to be using nail prep, and again this is DivaDC brand. I'll have the link down below so you guys can find this if you're interested. Again, this is going to remove any oils from the nail plate. And then I'm also going to be using their primer, base coat, and top coat. And then I'm going to be using two colors today. I'm going to be using this really pretty pink and then a basic white. I'm using an LED to cure the gel polishes, so with an LED it is 30 seconds with the DivaDC. And then I'm also going to be using some dotting tools to do the actual marbling. So you want to make sure that you're starting with clean prepped nails, and what I mean by that is that you push back your cuticle, removed any dead skin, and you lightly buffed the nail surface so that the gel has a chance to adhere really well to your nail plate. So to start off, I'm going to be using nail prep, and this is just to get rid of any oils that might be hanging around on the nail plate itself. So you want to make sure that you apply that just to the nail plate, not touching your skin. You can see it just kind of dries out that nail plate. And this is just going to ensure that the polish sticks the best that it can. And then the next item that I'm going to be applying is the primer. And same thing, you want to make sure that you apply it only on the nail plate, not touching your skin. And now I'm going to apply the base coat. You want to give that a few seconds to dry. Anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds should be good on that, and it does it just air dry. Now you can skip those two steps if you want. You do not have to use the nail prep or the primer. So now I'm using the base coat, and what you're going to do is you want to make sure that you wipe off all the excess that you can. You really want to do thin layers when it comes to gel. I'm going to start in the back of the nail, and I'm just going to pull forward, making sure I apply evenly and thinly. I'm also going to make sure that I cap the edge. And if I get anything on the sides of my nail, I want to make sure that I clean that up with an orange wood stick or something along those lines. You want to go ahead and cure that in your LED or UV lamp. Once you've cured the base coat, you want to apply your color. And again, you want to work in thin layers. And again, if you get anything on your skin, you want to make sure that you clean that off before you put it into the light. You're going to go ahead and cure that for 30 seconds in your LED or 2 minutes in your UV. I'm going to go ahead and apply a second coat of the pink before we start the marbling technique. You want to make sure that you're capping the end of your nail. And again into the LED for 30 seconds. So for this next step, I'm going to be using this card here. Put some of the polish on, and I'm going to be using the pink and the white, and I'm also going to be using the dotting tools. There's two ways you can do this. One is to work with both colors by putting dots on and then swirling it together. The other is to put down your base color, which is the pink in this case, and then to put white dots and swirl it together that way. I'm going to show you both so you can decide which way you like better. Anytime you're working with white polish, you want to make sure that you're careful because it can flood the area and become muddy. And you're going to want to work kind of quickly because gel does have a self-leveling aspect, which means that it's going to spread out the longer you wait. So I would work on 1 finger to 2 fingers at a time, but no more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this dotting tool. I'm going to pick up the color, place it randomly on the nail, the second color, same thing, and then I'm going to use this thinner dotting tool to kind of mix it together to get that marbled effect. And once I get it to the desired effect that I like, I'm going to put it into the lamp. And if you feel like you need to add more white or another color, you can. And you can also do this with more than one color. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that into the light to make sure that it sets. And the second method is to apply the base color all over the nail and then to apply the accent color on top with dots. So you want to grab your polish and just apply a coat just like you were going to paint the nail. Go ahead and bring that back over. And then pick up your white. And again, you're going to use your dotting tool. Until you get the desired effect you want. And then you want to pop that into the light and cure it so that it doesn't become muddy and spread too much. Once you've cured the marbling, you just need to go in with your top coat and cap your design. Then you want to go ahead and cure your top coat in your LED for 30 seconds. Once that's cured, all you need to do is go in with some rubbing alcohol. I'm using 90% just on a cotton round, and I'm going to remove that tacky layer. And your manicure's done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my other hand, and I'll show you guys the final results. Alright guys, so here's the final product. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to marble with gel polishes. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I also have the DivaDC website link in the description bar. And as always, thank you guys for watching.